Okay, good morning to everyone. Thank you for spending your time to attend our discussion today. So, on today's discussion, we are going to share each other's opinion on the most important purpose of education. So, firstly, I am candidate A, and I think the most important purpose of education is it enables one to earn more income. As we can see, there are many levels of education. Many people start their first education with kindergarten, and then they enroll in primary school, and then when they become adolescent, they enroll in secondary school and high school. When they get older, they can enroll in university to get their foundation, diploma, degree, master, or even PhD. So they slowly enter a higher level of education on the purpose of getting a higher earning. This is because completing an education program demonstrates qualities such as initiative, willingness to learn, and organization ability that employers value. So employers also select workers with higher qualification by giving them high earning to reduce their risk of hiring someone with a lower capacity to learn, which can burden the company. For example, we can see the difference of income between a school graduate and PhD graduate. A school graduate has limited qualification as they can only find a job that suits their education level, which is very low in salary. However, for PhD graduates like a doctor, there are many demands on recruiting them in every existing company as they have high education which ensure their skills and productivity in the company. They also survey carried out by HIES, and there are many different of different of level of salary between a high school graduate and someone with PhD as and the difference are very significant. So in summary, I really think that education enables one to earn more income. So that's all from me.
Okay, so I partially
So what do you
agree
guys think?
with you, candidate A. I partially agree with you because, in my personal opinion, I find that the most vital purpose of education is to produce people of good character. So, character building is based on 6 pillars: trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. And all these can be filled in a child only through adequate education. So, producing students with good grades is not enough for helping them to lead a fruitful life. This is why more focus needs to be given on preparing students with morals, ethics, soft skills. These values automatically make them self sufficient from all aspects to face challenges of life and contribute to society in a positive way. So let's put us in a situation, say a job interview. It is nearly impossible to ace it without self confidence, the ability to make rational decisions, making through various phases of life to be able to differentiate between whites, blacks, and grays. Don't you think? Education is a necessity for all as it ensures the development of their cognitive, social, emotional, cultural, and physical skills, preparing them for further academic career, carving their character, developing their personality, and setting them up for facing challenges in life. Learning the art of thinking critically, striving to achieve higher standards to meet challenges, and developing citizenship and basic values to socializing, education provides it all. With such character, doors to new avenues and chances will open for everybody to shine. So, the sound of knowledge of language and arithmetic values the ethics and help a person grow from all aspects and become successful in every sphere of professional and personal life. So I firmly believe that education's main purpose should be to create noble human beings, people with good character.
Okay, so I partially agree with you candidate B, and I will talk about that later. So, in my opinion, I think the most important purpose of education is that education can contribute to the progress and also development of the country. We all know that education is a fundamental factors of development. For example, the development of our country can be portrayed through the buildings of the country, the morality of the peoples in a certain country, and also the business of a country which contribute to the economy. So I think all these things, without the knowledge which gain from education, no progress can be made, and I think the country will not be well developed without the education. It is very crucial that education provides a country the opportunity to be developed, and a country can only achieve sustainable development only with the investment of human capital based on the knowledge which is gained from education. First of all, I think that education, it can raise productivity and also creativity of a person in different aspects. For example, technology and also entrepreneurship. So for entrepreneurship, right, if they have a lot of if they gain education, they gain knowledge from in the aspect of business entrepreneurship, people can have smart investment in their business, and they can apply their mind and knowledge in anything related to the development of the country. For technology, example, uh, just recently the Malaysia 9 years old boy, right? He won the NASA challenge by designing the zero gravity toilet. So if this kind of people, they can uh, apply their mind, apply their knowledge that they gain from education to the country. So the country will surely well develop in different aspect. And yeah, this is a big crucial. And next one, it also improve the quality of life of the people by guaranteeing the lifetime income, because if one person they pursue higher education, of course they will have a stable and higher income career compared to others, and that's why it can reduce the poverty as well as to decrease the crime in certain country. And that's why when there are good citizens, there will be good society. When there is good society, of course the country will be well developed and good and better than others country too. So I think education can boost the social, the economics, and many aspects of a country and cause the development of the country. And that's all for me.
Okay, so listening from all the candidates, candidate A, B, and C, I to some extent agree with their points, but I personally feel that my point, which is education's main purpose is to unite the people of a country, is more important in some sense. So in a typical school, students are placed in a classroom without any bias towards any background issues or races, and we all get to mix with each other in harmony. Like we have friends who are Malay, we have friends who are Chinese, who are Indian, who are from Sabah and Sarawak. So we have a racially diverse group of friends in school or in university, and the interactions between us and these people of different backgrounds and different races makes the unity of our country become more stronger. We get to understand how these people live in their daily lives, their livelihoods, how they react to certain topics and to certain issues. And that makes us more aware of what we should do towards progressing towards a better country. In other in another hand, education does not only stop in the classroom, it also goes to outdoor activities such as sports, volunteerism, and certain projects. So the teamwork that we see in these outdoor activities actually help, 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 boost the unity of our country as a whole. And in the future, these children who are involved with all these activities and this education system would grow up to be people, become the society of our future nation who unite under one name of Malaysia. And that's what I feel is most important purpose of education, which is to unite the people. What do all of you think?
Well, so going into the group discussion, in my opinion, after hearing all of your points, I think I partially disagree with candidate A, as you said that the main purpose of the education is to earn higher income, right? So I think it is not necessary that people with the highest education will have the highest salary. We can see like people who are graduated from universities with diploma degree, they are unemployed and they even have lower income than those average people without going to universities. For example, like doctoral and also professional degree, some of them in certain case they even have lower income than the people with high school diploma. So I don't think the education will make us to earn a higher income. Even those drop out from the school might be successful than the people who have higher education too. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I can see where are you coming from, especially during this situation right now in our country. So I partially agree with what you think. But I think I am partially disagree with candidate B opinion on the purpose of education can produce people of good character. High education do not ensure the characteristic of a person. This is because the changes in a person's personality is based on their wills only, and education can only drive them to be a good person. This is because for some people, when they are highly educated, they seem to think highly of themselves and become arrogant. And then they tend to downgrade the others below them as uneducated. So we must think deeply, as these uneducated people maybe is less fortunate than the educated people, as they can come from low income family or they have their own situation. So we can see from here, um, education do not define your character, as the latest viral tweet in Twitter right now. So the tweet sounds like the doctor in the Tibet mouth, his terminal brain cancer patient, and called the patient a burden as he lived for too long for a cancer diagnosed patient. Even though he is highly educated as a doctor, but he do not has the empathy and good character that we can look up to. But we must not generalize everyone like that, because some of other educated people use their intelligence to help others too. So that is my 2 cents on this topic.
So, to a certain extent, you are correct. However, that is a violation of doctor's oath with a patient. Building good character should be the main purpose of education, to be a good person in general. So, it does not really pinpoint to any career, like you have mentioned. So, you do not have to be smart to have good character, is what I'm saying. Um, so, regarding the point from candidate D, don't you think that the root of said unity between the people in a country comes from people of good character? How do you unite as one if you do not have good attitude? How do you accept the differences of one another if you do not educate yourself on such matter? And if I will add more to this, considering all points given, and you think that candidate C brought the most ideal reason, let's take governance for an example. Some people, some of the leaders, they actually have poor character quality in which it heavily impacts the growth and development of a country. Um, African countries, for an example, they have experienced this impact since ages ago. Like since World War II, the growth of a country is significantly impacted when they are exposed to indicators of bad governance. And bad governance are led by people with bad character. A lack in regulatory quality, government ineffectiveness, and a lack of control on corruption have been linked to poor development. So, leaders like this only love power and money, so they overuse such greed. The greed in them has overpowered them. So, it leads to bad decisions. So, this link suggests that it has that levels of governance in an economy due to bad governance, the levels of perceived corruption will rise. So I find that with education and proper education, you can have good quality of character, but it does not really contribute to the development and growth of a country.
Okay, as candidate D explained just now that she thinks that character is the main purpose of education, and she really believes it so. But we can see an example, for example, that good character has to come from the personal life of someone. Maybe how the parents taught them when they were young, or how their surroundings were when they grew up. And basically, education might affect someone's good character, but in the long run, we can see that it might deteriorate. So, for example, we take a case of there is this child, and when he is young, maybe during the age of preschool, if we would ask him what he wants to be in the future and why, he would say he wants to become a doctor, and because he wants to help the sick and the needy in healthcare. But when you ask the same child in the future, when he becomes a doctor and he has a stable job, why did you become a doctor and why did you choose this profession? He would say, because I want to earn big bucks. I want to become the richest guy in the estate, own a big house, many cars. In this case, you can see that the character of the person changes with education. The person becomes more greedy with the higher education that he has. He becomes more self-centered. So despite someone having a good character, it might not only be caused by the education he has. Yes, we might say the Japanese who have good education have good ethics and characteristics as well. But we can also see these good characteristics, good characters in people from Africa, where they are so friendly, humble, but they might not have the same education level as those in modern countries. So this is why I feel that candidate C's point, which is education helps with the development of the country, is the most suitable uh, idea of purpose of education, as despite anything else, there will be good people in a country, there will be educated people in a certain country, and both of these people will help towards the development of a country as a whole. And education is the root of this cause. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you completely. I think all in all that the education main purpose is just to get the countries into a good place and to develop certain countries so that they are well they are more advanced. And just take example like just you say Africa, right? Although they don't have higher education, they still have good attitudes. So like if we see in different view, Africa they are quite poor developed because their lack of schooling and their quality of education is not that well compared to other countries. So because of this, the children and also the people in Africa, they can't learn, they don't know how to write, they don't know how to read. So that's why uh, the country will be stunned at the same place for many years. And another example is that Singapore and Malaysia. So although Singapore and Malaysia is quite nearby each other, but then Singapore is still considered more developed than Malaysia because their better education system, their higher quality of education, like compared to Malaysia, they more focus on the solving skills in the students' education besides the despite just not just memorizing the facts, just like Malaysia education system, and that's why they can achieve success in a short periods of time, and they are more well developed than Malaysia. Okay, so in my opinion, I think the most important purpose of education is to contribute to the progress and also development of the country, just as what is my opinion that I said just now. So, what do you think about that, candidate A, B, and also D?
There is well explained point, so I agree with you.
I agree too.
After many considerations, I think that we have all come to a rational agreement and a consensus here, whereby candidate C has brought up the most ideal reason. So, the most important purpose of education is to contribute in the progress and development of a country. Yes, I agree with you.
So that's all for our discussion today. This is a very eye-opening discussion. So thank you everyone for joining me. You all can dismiss now. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.